going on, everybody? Rob A here, and today we're taking a look at Transformers Masterpiece Movie Series number 10, Starscream. Now, of course, this is Starscream from the 2007 first live-action Transformers movie, and you can see it's a pretty nicely screen-accurate design for the robot mode, and for the vehicle mode, it looks like here looking pretty decent. On the side, you can see Starscream's big ol' ugly face, and then on the back you got some different bits here. You see the robot mode and the vehicle mode again. Shows you that he has a movable mouth, flip-up thrusters, missile arm attachment, saw attachment, and articulated hands. And on this side you just get the F-22 Raptor mode, showing all of the weapons stored on the vehicle. And then on the bottom is some more stuff. I'm just throwing this thing around. It doesn't matter. There we go. Maybe it'll... Then on the bottom you can see again the undercarriage. I don't know why they'd want to show that off, but there you have it. So there's the jet again. So not really much else to say about this figure. So we're just going to go ahead and get him out of the package and check it out right now. Alright guys, so here is Starscream, and he does come packaged in F-22 Raptor mode. So this is the mode we're going to start with. And, you know, the top half of the vehicle looks pretty decent. It got some nice paintwork here, some nice tampos, and the camouflaging looks fairly decent, I would say. Got a little bit of gold picked out here, clear cockpit area, and the nose cone, which feels like it's just a rubber piece at the very, very tip that does not quite blend in here. It's got these two little, like, horn bits coming out here, and I don't think this is for transformation. I don't honestly know exactly what this is for. If this is an actual feature on the real jet, I wouldn't think so, but you guys can let me know in the comments if I'm missing something about these little tiny looking hook things, because they don't really do anything as far as I can tell. Anyway, looking at the side of the jet, you can see there is quite a bit of robot just kind of jammed up underneath, but there's not really a lot of options here. I mean, you know, you're gonna have robot bits under the jet, or, you know, it's just too complex a design to really have it any other way. Looking at the total underneath image here, you can see you just got his legs kind of crammed up under here, some struts kind of hanging out. But I mean, if you look at it from the front on, it's not too terrible. You get these little bits that kind of poke out. You could, I guess, tell yourself that they are guns or something. I'm not entirely sure. You do have some landing gear that can be stowed on the bottom here, so we'll just stow that for now. Actually, we'll pop it back out, but I'll just show you that it can be stowed. Pop that out, and pop this out, and you can, of course, roll on that landing gear, which is nice. Quick size comparison. Here he is with Bumblebee. So you can see he's a fair-sized jet. Not quite in scale in vehicle mode, but you know, that is what it is. And you can, of course, stow the accessories. I'll show up the accessories really quickly here. You get this kind of minigun thing. It does spin. The barrel does rotate freely. Unfortunately, I'd like there to be somewhere for your fingertip to like grip it and spin it. Maybe if this had, I don't know, maybe some teeth in the side here. Otherwise you just kind of have to spin it like this, which is not really so awesome, but it can rotate. And this has a little tab. You can put it in either spot under the nose cone. I like it a little bit further back, so you can stow it right there. You also get this missile cluster and like claw thing, and this can stow underneath the wing, right here. There we go. And then last but not least, you also get the spinning saw blade arm thing. And this can go underneath the other wing. And they just have tabs that are kind of keyed in that the direction they face will cause them to only be able to put in one way. So you can get all of the accessories underneath. It just leads to a very bulky vehicle mode. Transformation is, I don't want to call it a nightmare. It's just not, it's not fun. So give me just a moment to get things prepped, and then we will get this guy transformed to robot mode in just a second. Alright guys, so the first thing we want to do is flip this bad boy over and remove all the accessories from the wings. And then next we can just come to the top here, and we're going to take these two panels and just untab them and lift them up. Just like that. And then we can actually flatten these rear foils here. Then we can bring up this whole section. And it's tabbed into the wings, so you can just untab it from the side of the wings and just kind of loosen it. You know, you can just leave it right there for now and just kind of loosen that. Next thing we want to do is flip them over again, and we're going to go ahead and untab the legs. They're tabbed in right here on the sides of the landing gear. The instructions tell you to fold in all of the landing gear, but this has to actually stay out for robot mode, so I just leave it out all the time. But you can flip in the rear wheels. So go ahead and do that now. Just flip those in. Then we're going to untab the legs, lift them up, and just kind of leave them out of the way there for right now. Now, I'm going to do it maybe a little bit differently than the instructions show. So the instructions show you converting the arms completely before you transform him. I'm just going to take the arm assemblies out. And so we want to lift this whole section up. It's going to come up on this little arm here. Then we're going to flip it right out to the side. And we're going to do that on both sides. So lift this up. Lift the assembly, and then move it out to the side. And unfortunately this thing turns into a bit of a floppy mess once you do that, but there you have it. So you can see the back thrusters are tucked away in here. We're just gonna pull this section out so you can access the head and all that, the nose cone of the jet here. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the torso section, or the hip section, I should say, up, and we're gonna just rotate the legs down, just like that. Then this section is gonna come up. You can see there are some slots here and some tabs here, and these are all gonna peg together just like that. Let me see if I can back this up a little bit to kind of give you an idea. So you've got the nose cone here, and now this is pulled up front. And now the front half of this pelvis will open up like that. And then we can rotate the entire nose cone down. And it's just going to tuck in right there. And actually, maybe now I should check and see. I still don't think these little things do anything, but there you go. It will plug in there, and then you can just bring this back. Actually, you want to leave this down here, because now we're going to open this panel up. The cockpit panel will open up. We're going to bring out these two side pieces from the cockpit, and we're going to tuck Starscream's head back like this. So that we can close this section back up. We're going to bring these, oh, I did that in the wrong order. We're going to bring these side panels here out and down. And they're just going to tuck behind these bits. The problem with this guy is that, like, there's a billion moving parts and they all have to move in exactly the right order, otherwise nothing will go together. So there is that. So now we can close the canopy up, and now we can bring Starscream's head down, and it should soft lock into place. It's not doing that for whatever reason right now, but there we go. All right. So now we have something sort of remotely Starscreamy looking. All right. So bear with me. All right, here we go. So now we can bring up this piece and just tab it in. Let's go on to the back, where we can bring this down. We're going to deal with these wings here, and we're going to bring this arm piece up and around like that. All right, so do the same on the other side. Bring it up, twist it down, and around just like that. Okay, flip it around to this side, and now we can bring these little detail pieces out. I honestly don't really know their function. And then just flip the bottom piece of the wing up and do the same on the other side. Just like that. All right, now we can deal with the arms. So we've got these big piles of parts that are going to be Starscream's arms. You can obviously see his hands right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this section here, which is die cast, has to separate from this section here. So just pull this apart just like that. Then we're going to take this long section here, we're going to fold this in on itself, and then it's going to snap into place just like that to form Starscream's arm. And this is going to attach to the robot body. So this section here, which is going to become the chest piece, has to kind of move out of the way. So tip that up, and then this rear tail fin is going to rotate around and just chill out right there. Alright, so now once you have this up, we can take this piece and just flip it up like that. So now what we can do is we can rotate this whole section up. This section will come down and we'll tab onto this piece next to the cockpit. Just like that. And then this section will come around. We're going to bring this around here, just like this. And then this tab that we brought up is going to slot right in down next to Starscream's head. It's a little hard to see, but just get it up, and then it slots in right there. So now you got that done. Then you can rotate Starscream's arm around this way. And then this panel just slides up and just kind of tucks in there however you do. I'm going to do the same on the other side. We're going to separate the arm pieces here. Bring this out. Tab it. There we go. Just like that. Collapse this all up until it forms one solid arm piece. Which is not, there we go. There we are, that's got it. And we can bring this up and tab it on here. And I like to do that just to kind of secure everything. This side again, we're going to bring this side up, rotate this panel around and back. We're going to flip out the tab here. And then we're going to flip this all in. Once again, we're going to tuck it back, and it's going to slot in right next to Starscream's head. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do the back of the robot here. So, we're going to go ahead, bring this midsection down. And just tap it all together like that. You can see it's starting to take shape. And then this section is going to come up. This big chunk here is going to tab right onto this tab underneath the landing gear. And the reason the landing gear has to stay down is because it forms that tab. So you have to bring this up and then tab it together, and that'll hold everything in place there. Now you can fold these down however you like, but you don't necessarily have to flatten everything out now because we still have to do the legs, but we're going to bring this center section down, and that'll let you tuck in the landing gear if you so desire. Right back here, there's going to be a couple of panels that are going to go and tab right onto the backpack and hold all that together like so. So there we go. Let's take care of the legs. We're going to go ahead and twist them right around to the front here. We're going to go ahead and extend the legs, and there's actually a little tab that's going to tab in right there. If I can get it, there we go. Do the same on the other side. Tab it in. Now we can get the feet, which are just going to untab like this. We're going to flip the whatever front toe things. I don't even know what they're called. Then we're going to flip all this around. Pull this whole section down so it's just flopping like that. We're going to rotate this back around. There's a little tab here that's going to go into the base of the foot, and the feet are also die cast, by the way. So that's going to clip in like that, and then this is going to come up here and clip in like this. And then we're just going to rotate the lower leg around, just like that. So that's going to make your Starscream legs. Do the same on the other side. I'll show you again just in case it's a little funky. So untab it here. Bring these bits out. Pull the whole thing out here. Rotate it up. Clip it in. Rotate it up. Clip it in. And then rotate that around. Now just find a stance that Starscream wants to stay upright in. Which may or may not be easier said than done. Might have to fiddle with it just a little bit here. They are on nice ratchets, but the problem is like his ankles are not on ratchets, and also these ratchets are not really strong enough to hold them. All right. Okay, so now we've got all this done here. Let's go ahead and fold the wings back. And then we're going to take the shoulders, and you can kind of see that this little bit here can slide in right there. It doesn't tab in, it doesn't secure in, but it just kind of sits there. And that should help his center of gravity a little bit as well, to kind of get him standing upright properly. And then you can adjust these little wing bits however makes you happy. I like to put them down like that to kind of hold stuff together a little bit. But yeah, really whatever works for you. And then I don't know why I'm having such a hard time getting them to stand upright right now. Alright, but right now we can go ahead and swivel the arms around. And then bring his hands out, just flip the thumbs out to wherever you want. Swivel this around. Get all this. And then we'll Alright, and there we have movie masterpiece Starscream in his robot mode. And, you know, as much as I'm not really a fan, especially, like, I'm not a fan overall of the, the live-action movie aesthetics, Starscream in particular, I don't really like the weirdly, the weirdly wide body, especially at the shoulders, the kind of weird triangle shape that he's got going on. It's super, like, compact in weird spots, but at the same time, I can't deny that this is a very nice-looking figure, and it's a very imposing-looking robot, in person. So let's do some quick size comparisons. I'm going to preface this by saying I do not have handy the Hunt for the Decepticons Leader Starscream. I do own it. It's in storage somewhere. This is bigger. It's a bigger figure. This is a better looking figure. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. So I'm sure other reviews, and there are tons of pictures comparing the two figures. There's not really a comparison. This figure is better. So there you go. I will show off with MPM Bumblebee. There you go. I'll put them on the sides so you can see a side-by-side comparison. Starscream is a very large figure. I'll show you with MPM Prime. Again, really large figure. And also with Barricade, just so you guys get the idea. Again, I don't own MPM Megatron either, so these are the guys that I have to compare him to. So there you go. Hope that works for y'all. But, yeah, really nicely done figure. The transformation is it's basically he's just a floppy mess, and then you just tab everything together and he becomes a really solid robot, I will say. Like, he's not floppy now. Everything fits together nicely. Everything's, you know, tight, and despite having a hard time getting him to stand up sometimes, he is actually a really just nice looking robot. He does have, of course, his weapons that you can still attach, and you do that by closing up his hand. This, move all that back. And you can take this, open it up, and then just plug it in there. Plug it in there. And now he's got buzzsaw hands. Zzz. So that's cool. That's a nice thing. You can do the same on the other side with the rockets if you want. I don't really like the rockets personally, but you can do that if that's your thing. Just gotta plug it. Get it plugged in, get it plugged in, and it's a nice secure connection there. Unfortunately, like, my figure is having a hard time holding this arm up. No problems here. This arm, it feels like the ratchet is dead, which is unfortunate. Was not having that problem yesterday, so I wonder if something happened internally, because he can hold up his arm without too much problem, but once you get to a certain point, it just flops. So I might have to actually... No, I can't even open it. It's all bolts. It's all rivets. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. So, hey, be mindful of that, I guess. So there's that. But you can also take the Gatling gun, or the minigun, or the chain gun, whatever you want to call it, and attach that to his forearm. And that looks good too. I actually prefer that to this big blob of missiles. Articulation. Let's get the camera a little bit higher here. Head can rotate back and forth, can go up, not really down, but you do get that back and forth. He does have the mouth opening gimmick, even though it doesn't look like a mouth. It's just a piece that moves on his face. Arms, I showed you before. Arms can go all the way around. Can go out like this. Got a nice elbow there. Move this out of the way to get hands free. Wrist does swivel at the wrist. Wrist swivels at the wrist. That makes sense. Can go in and out. You got opposable thumbs here on both sides of the hand. Hand can actually close like midway, so you can get some interesting poses there. And then each finger is articulated individually. It's just one solid piece, but you can move them like that. There's no waist swivel because there's not really a waist, but he does have nice heavy ratchets at the hips and go out, front, back. The knee has a nice ratchet, and the knee pad moves out of the way to accommodate. And then I guess this would be the start of the foot, but it's, I don't know, it's hard to say. But you've also got a ratchet there and a swivel there. The feet can tilt side to side, up, down, and then lock into place there. So overall, decent articulation. Again, the back, you can move these thrusters. They're just on, not ball joints, but on little universal joints and like a double hinge kind of a deal. Oh, these pieces can come out too. Like that. There is a peg for a flight stand, although this Feels like it would be way too heavy for a flight stand, but you know, good luck if that's something you want to try. Yeah, but overall, pretty cool figure. He looks the part, like he looks like he's supposed to. Getting him back into robot or vehicle mode rather is not too difficult once you remember just where stuff goes. But yeah, not a great transformation overall. But he's definitely an imposing looking robot. It's a shame that my shoulder decided to break for the video, but there you have it. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.